American general populace is scared. Even former prior service guys, unless if they've been in country, they're really scared about the government and the tracking that goes on with them and taking away their privileges.
Well, these are two guys I'd like to have as neighbors. So this one guy comes up and I ask him what he does. He says he's working in counterterrorism. The other guy pipes up and says, hey, that's what I was in. Ex-Marine. And so they started talking. And he's got some good information. Some of the stuff we already know, though. It's going to get scary out there. I don't think many people are going to, when the whole SHF happens, it's going to be rough for a lot of people. But until then, I'm going to try to get as many people as prepared as possible. So whoever does inherit this mess, will at least be good people. Maybe it'll take another 10,000 years to mess things up. Who knows? But these guys didn't ask me to block out their faces, and I'm pretty sure they were aware the cameras are on. But at a difference, I went ahead and blocked them out anyway because, well, they're good guys. Me, I don't give a crap about, what are you going to do to me? All right, you know what to do. If you like it, you like it. If you care, share. The shop button, go get something. Pray for me. About the only armor I got. All right, see you on the other side of this one.
What do you do up there?
Counterterrorism.
Counterterrorism?
Rocket, bro.
This is all good shit right here.
Bro. Former Marine.
Hey, how are you? Thanks.
All right.
Took counterterrorism back way back
before it was what it is.
It was after Beirut, and God, what was probably the latest one? I joined in '89. It was probably '91 when I took it. So
yeah, it was before it became like what it is now.
People don't have a clue when it comes to counterterrorism. They don't realize. I mean, we were studying stuff like when the IRA, Irish Republic Army, was attacking England, and baby carriages, stage it all out, have explosives in a baby carriage, walk the street, you got a car back there waiting, and a car back there, and they're going to blow up buildings and jump out and mow down. I mean, America hasn't hit that level yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Do you think so?
We'll drive OS.
Oh, 311. Awesome. Love it.
You really think it's coming?
The same thing.
Yes.
I got the blank spot.
Yeah, cool. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel good here. I feel good here. This is good. Oh, man, I feel good here. This is good.
New Hampshire. I can't believe I already took New Hampshire when my beloved gun company is in the middle of that state.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have 629.
Yeah, P320 RX. Yeah. Yes. My old eyes are starting to get used to that optic, man. I'm like red dot, both eyes. I'm like, I'm the old school Weaver stance.
Yeah.
One eye, now, you know that, right? Nowadays, it's both eyes open.
Both eyes, yeah.
Both eyes. Arms not locked out, cocked in, able to move. So much easier.
So you can see.
So much easier. Well, you can scan the room, yeah.
Even with the new optics on the rifles, it's both eyes open so you can see what's going on and still.
I got the SIG M400, and I bought the whiskey sight that goes with it. Because I'm so unsure about the ACOGs and
okay, so let's check it out because
the two sights that go on the new M400, the ARs, whatever, the M16 is what the military uses, M4. So I'm not confident on than that. But I'm like,
So I get the feeling here, if there is a revolution, it's not going to last 24 hours.
Nope.
There was a really good thing on YouTube called The Second Civil War, the Coming Possible, and they pulled it after it was on for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I saw it.
And I shared it as much as I could because it didn't have, it was just statistics.
Right.
It was statistically, here we sit on history's records, here's what's coming, here's what military leadership believes. I didn't know that America sits on 5 grids, power lines, 5 power grids, and that there's only one independent power grid that nobody will ever be able to take over in Texas.
Yeah.
And they said that if the kickoff begins, if he's out this next election, they're estimating that we will have 30 years of the next, and we will conform to socialism completely. They won't have a choice but to come after guys like you and me and say, bam, which I've always been for contractors, but contractors scare me, especially when they come from foreign interests, because it's proven that Americans won't attack Americans. Only foreign interests will study your history, revolution, American Revolution, Civil War. There were even people that integrated inside the North that helped take over the South.
But how are they going to get away with it? One, you bring in foreigners, they're not fighting on their land. They don't have the heart to fight for the...
Back when Tim McVeigh, before the federal building happened, I got out of the Marine Corps in '93, and I was a truck driver driving across the country. And outside of Evansville, Indiana, I went into a truck stop, and I was stuck there for a weekend trying to get my hours so I could go back to driving. So there was a CD shop there, and I went in there and I got to talking to the guy, and he said, "Have you ever noticed on the back of any of your roadway signs, federal highways, state highways?" He said there are little markings on the backs of the signs, red squares, green triangles, different things like that. They've done studies on it all across the country and gathered the intel on that, and they said they figured out that is for foreign troop movement, so that they will know how to move in our country when they can't read English. I might be able to get it. That's cool.
Now, I'm going to get real sticky with you here, because both of you guys are pros. But it's in the wind. It's out there.
Whatever you want to do.
Spring up Oklahoma.
We'll charge a premium price.
What was hidden on that? I mean, the things they haven't shown us or told us. The other guy that was with them.
Okay.
The cameras, that were not being shown at 9/11, the things that were hidden from us. The fact that, I've talked to guys from architects and engineers from 9/11 Truth out here. Over 3,000 architects and engineers have studied the collapse of those buildings.
If you're going to talk about the children, I'm going to know where you're going.
Well, that too. That say those buildings were brought down by explosives. The planes couldn't possibly have brought them down. Building number 7, the fact that it was never mentioned in the 9/11 report, housed all 16 of our intelligence agencies and the Mary's emergency bunker. 5:20 in the afternoon, did this in 6 seconds, straight to the ground, never explained why it came down. So, these things, it's like, all right, the terrorism, but who's creating the terrorists?
You know what? War is money. So.
Well, where's the intel coming from to know where the weak points are on the structures to hit them? My thing is with Oklahoma building, I was like, okay, everybody's wanting to blame, because what they were trying to do was the homegrown 3%ers, okay, the militia, they were gaining too much momentum. That's why Ruby Ridge happened. That's why America attacking all these things. That's why they were really gunning for the militias. American government figured we got to have a big blow to really get recruitment to stop for militias. They're gaining too much momentum. Because at the time, remember, 93, that was when I got forced out. That was Bill Clinton's era. He cut the military like crazy, okay? He tried to do a false paper trail saying, oh no, we've got perfect troops in the streets. He was taking like E9s, E8s, E7s and getting them out and bringing in 9, 12 new recruits. So that showed strength in numbers, but nothing in experience, okay? So a lot of those guys that they were getting out, like myself, we were like, okay, where do we go now? We don't have nobody out here cares about us. They all hate us. militias were like really recruiting hard. Okay.
Still are, aren't they?
Well, they still are, but the American general populace is scared. Even former prior service guys, unless if they've been in country, they're really scared about the government and the tracking that goes on with them and taking away their privileges.
But the thing about Oklahoma, though, and the building itself, I mean, there have been experts that shown that there were bombs in the building.
Yeah. Well,
that blew out the building.
Their biggest PR thing that they had was all the children that got killed.
Well, indeed. Attack. Well, it's always the children, as you know, as a terrorist.
Why were all the children killed in that attack? Why would you put a daycare on the outer perimeter? Let's talk counterterrorism. If you know a federal building is going to get struck, why do you put the daycare on the outside of the building? Because you want good PR whenever federal
Thank you. Don't they always attack the children? Aren't the children the ones always being attacked?
No, they want somebody to be able to say, how dare them? We had 53 kids that got killed in a daycare. Why wasn't the daycare built in the basement? Why wasn't it built at the farthest point away from where an explosion on the outside could happen?
Yeah.
So, an implosion from the outside going in, it's just going to mostly get the outside. It's not going to get the inside.
But who put those bombs? I mean, there were even local news channels that showed, it's a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton. This is good for any crime in the world, as you know.
Oh, here, got one if I ever get
Sure.
It's amazing how she's not trying to do a second run.
But there were local news channels showing.
Just crush it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Trump's going to crush everyone here.
Well,
I get it.
I hope. I hope. There's a bad mentality that's coming. But like I was talking about that thing that got yanked from YouTube, it was talking about how if Trump loses this time, we will have 30 years of Democrats.
He's going to lose.
And they said that it will become the socialist.
There'll be a revolution if he loses.
Well, and that's what they said, that there's too many hardcore conservatives that aren't going to put up with it. They said it's all your major cities that get the push for the political power, but it's all your urban areas.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'm even listening. This is the barometer right here, the streets. And I'm seeing more enthusiasm for Trump now than there was in 16. And I'm even having liberals coming up and going, Green New Deal, infanticide, open borders?
I think
what are you, crazy?
We don't even have the same issues of what we had back then. The wall hasn't really become a spotlight anymore. Immigration's not a spotlight. It's more about constitutional rights and about freedoms. And I still think a silent majority is still going to come through.
Of course.
And he's built up the list. Go back and all the way back to Lincoln. Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. The Democrats didn't want it to happen. Right. So what are you doing? What are the Democrats doing for the black? How are they keeping them prisoner and saying you need to vote for us? Well, what are you doing for me? Do something for me, and then we'll vote for you.
Yeah.
So I think that he's gained a lot of minority support.
I think they realize, and like Trump's saying, that the majority, historically, there are more black people that have gotten jobs now.
Hispanic, black.
People got to start realizing government benefits isn't where it's at. You don't want to get welfare stamps. You don't want to get Medicare, disability. You don't want all that. You want to go out and actually get a good job where you can make what you make $700 something a month. You would better make that in a week and be able to do the math times 4. 1 month times 4.
He's behind all the polls. It was all freaking just propaganda.
Of course.
He was ahead in the polls, and then when that happened, when all the results started coming up, I'm like, oh, what happened? You know what I mean?
Well, I deal with a lot of I work for a law firm, and I'm the investigator. I do personal injuries when they get wrecked and stuff, okay? So I got to go usually to the poor people that want to actually get cases and treat and stuff like that. So, which is usually largely the black community. My daughter is mixed, okay? So I get to meet a lot of people, and when I'm in their influence, I'm like, don't listen. Lots of them have Barack Obama pictures in their home. They really applaud them as his champions, only for the sake that he was half black.
First black, black.
Okay, so in the midst of, I don't try to go down the route of, that he was raised by white grandparents. You know that he was this, he was that. He was not. He only embraced the black vote when he was running for president. Okay, but there's a lot of them that are still looking at the false news that really doesn't support it. And they realize there's some of them that they just don't. They got their head in the sand. They don't know really what's going on.
I had a great interview the other day. Latina woman married to a 6'3", 300-pound black guy who were both Democrats. They said when Obama got in, right, They started listening to the news and they said, wait, there's something wrong here. And then they watched Obama flip. Now they're hardcore Trumpers. That's what's happening. I think people are, because Trump woke them up to the bullshit, to the social engineering that we're getting from the news, and they're starting to, they're wrecking, because we feel it, you feel it. Both you guys are in law enforcement, you know the training from the training. You can tell when someone's lying to you. You have a gut feeling in it. You know that there's something wrong. And I think the general public is getting that feeling now. And as I said, we're into a lot of Democrats now. If they don't vote for Trump, they're going to sit home.
And if he woke up all the people to show how much corruption is really actually going on in the country that people probably just didn't realize, and now he brought it all to the surface. So now,
you try to drain a swamp. What do? They waste our tax dollars and our tax.
If you were to listen to him last night at the rally, he says, he was up there at the podium, he said, look, man, this deep state, I didn't realize it was this deep. This is drain this swamp. This is a deep swamp, man. We gotta, I've talked.
It's not just him that has to have the power to drain that. I mean, it's so corrupt.
Well, I've talked to other guys. I talked to Ben Carson's right hand man. He gave me a half-hour interview, and I asked him. I says, "What in the hell? Why aren't things moving faster? Why are we seeing something, like move?" And he says, because about 85% of our government is corrupt to the core.
It takes a long time to get stuff done.
My hardest thing for Trump right now, for us to swallow, is our taxes. If we're up in that higher bracket, man, we're eating more. It's like we're punished for doing well.
Well, he said one of the things he said he's going to run on is another tax cut for the middle class, and for the people.
That's going to be the thing that hurts us right now. He's really hurting the middle class. So. All right. Well, we're all of one accord. So.
All right, brother, man. It's a pleasure talking to you.
God bless us.
It's a pleasure.
Had to rise up. The only thing that's going to keep us from rising up and has kept us from rising up is our comfort zone.
Oh, thank you. We're victims
our
of comfort.
Air conditioning, the food in the refrigerator. When the electric grid gets cut, that stuff will disappear. There will be no food in the fridge. When the baby cries and mama says, I don't give a shit, go get that baby food to put in her mouth.
Well, that's what the prepping's all about, isn't it? I mean, people have been screaming about this for a long time. All they have to do is flip that switch.
Yep. And that's the way that our human character will be brought back down to its knees and say, there's a God and we have a need. And it ain't all us saying that we can supply it ourselves. So.
Yeah. Well, I got my free strike.
You better have some of these to back yourself.
Oh, amen to that.
Because the have-nots are going to come after those that have.
Amen.
All right. That'd be good. Have a good one.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, it's coming. These guys certainly know what they're talking about. I try to get into, who were the terrorists with them, but didn't get far with that. But I think they realize that the terrorists are within also. It's not just the terrorists from without. They seem to allude it to that also. So, thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button, share if you care, contribute if you can, and pray for me. And I shall see you on the streets.